Welcome to another Friday episode of Ripping the Rack podcast.
Where apparently our host is in training for the judo event at the Olympics later on this week. Best of luck to your Olympics. Hope you have a pleasant Olympics, Tim.
Pleasant Olympics.
Good form.
Excellent form. Good form.
So I know you can't see my shirt, but I got a great shirt for my birthday.
I think it's got boobies.
It does. It says I love titties and kitties.
Stand up. I love titties and kitties. Don't we all?
It almost looks like a kitty too.
Almost.
Almost. Yeah.
Yep. I am officially AARP old now.
Old as fuck.
Yeah. I get my early bird dinner now.
Fucking
I get my Metamucil. We're good.
We actually have a self-portrait of the great Gim Dodaro.
Oh my God!
To show here, he said, and we want to wish the great Gim Dodaro a happy birthday. Everything except for the Habs logo and the Go Habs Go, that can go to hell. But at the same time, happy birthday to Gim. Don't they look the same? Like everybody in YouTube land, like they look pretty much identical.
That's a self-portrait.
It's really not that far away. The teeny tiny legs, the cane is on the way, the giant beak. The only thing he's missing is the glasses.
The height.
I mean, the height's the same. It's not bad. Cranky old man. I mean, look, they were even bald. They almost got the Captain Picard head thing going.
God.
So, congratulations on your 50, big guy. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Old as fuck.
Thank you. Oh
You
God, but I will.
Your discount soon.
I get my AARP senior discount. I'm so excited. You know, my penis was in the Guinness Book World Records. Unfortunately, the librarian told me to take. No, the librarian told me to take it out, but it was in it.
Well, at least you were there for a minute.
You know,
that was pretty good.
The older he gets, the better the dad jokes.
The better
they get, baby. Attaboy.
Yeah, I mean, and I will tell you, you know, having sex in the elevator is so wrong on so many levels.
I mean, my God. When she pushes that door close button, man, it's all over. It's all over.
I don't think you got that one, Marky.
I did get that one.
I think it went over your head there.
No, it really didn't. I'm taller than Tim. It hit me right in the forehead. I got it.
Hey, why did the snowman suddenly smile?
I don't know.
He could see the snowblower coming.
Nice.
That one went over Calvin's head for about 10 seconds. He had to do the math in his head.
Nice.
Yeah. My last one here is what did the banana say to the vibrator? Why are you shaking? She's gonna eat me.
That was bad.
Well done, sir. Well done.
Yeah.
Well
I think you need a better one.
You want me to go back to the first one?
Yeah, that was good. Yeah.
Oh God. Oh, we so screwed up here. I never introduced my people. As you can see, we are missing the Coastal Crusader. He is still on vacation. Hope he has a great time. Hope he's not lost in the Maine woods. On my right, he could be on your left. He could be on the top. He could be on the bottom. He is from, well, I can't say where he's from. He is our resident king of the north.
I'm first. If you're not first, you're last, baby. I just watched this girl just completely fuck a dive. She sucks.
Someone is watching the Olympics.
It's a Canadian too. Damn it. You suck. We suck at everything.
No, you beat the Americans in soccer.
I tell you, if we had a fourth best medal, Canada would kill it because we are fourth best in everything.
It should be like an aluminum medal. Like you should call it silver, bronze, and aluminum.
It's a participation trophy. That's all it is.
Yeah, the honorable mention ribbon.
Yep. And on my right, could be on your left. He could be on top. He could be on bottom. He is our resident masshole. He is Mr. Marky Pins.
What's up, guys? Sometimes I'm here, sometimes I'm there. It's just good to be here with you two fellas. Good to be here.
By the way, speaking of that, Tim, did you see the woman's American soccer player? Did you see her comments? She's like, I hate losing to Canada. I don't think I've ever lost to Canada.
Rapinoe said that. Yes.
Megan Rapinoe.
Yes, she did. Yes, she did.
As Carly Lloyd was doing suicides in the back.
Yeah.
Like, totally stressed. I can't. Well, look,
those were trash comments. You're in the Olympics. You can lose to anybody. You can beat anybody. Like, you're literally facing the best of the best. When you say I shouldn't be losing to, shut up.
Well,
yeah.
Ultimately, though, in their defense, that is the first time in 20 years that they had lost to the Canadians.
Yeah.
They also lost 4-0 to Sweden in the opening game, too.
Yeah,
I
know.
They lost to Sweden there either. They should have focused more on the actual gameplay instead of a lot of the other off-the-field stuff. They really should have.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay, this one's a bad dad joke, but I'm going to say it.
Let's hear it.
I once saw a one-handed man at a secondhand store. I told him, sir, I don't think they have what you're looking for here. That's a dad joke.
That was even worse than a dad joke. My God, that was like an uncle joke. Actually, no, uncle jokes are good. Uncle jokes are good. That's where you hear your first swears and you get your first beer from your uncle. That usually they're better.
Yeah.
Tim.
Yeah.
Yo, mama's so fat when she goes camping, the bears hide their food.
Well, yeah. Well, your mama is so stupid. She bought tickets to Xbox Live. Okay.
Nice.
Thank you.
That's a good one.
Thank you.
Hey, how do you get a man with only one arm out of a tree?
Wave.
Oh, God.
Your mama is so fat she brought milk and cereal to the Super Bowl. Okay.
Nice.
Not really. No, all right. I'm working on it.
Well, I lost my screen, so now I lost. What the hell's going on here?
What are you doing?
Yo, mama's so stupid.
Oh, there we go.
When they said order in the court, she asked for fries and a milkshake.
Okay.
What's orange and sounds like a parrot?
A parrot?
If it's an orange parrot, I'm going to be very upset.
A carrot.
What the fuck?
Moving on.
What's orange and sounds like a parrot? A carrot sounds like a parrot. Get it? Parrot,
No, it
carrot.
doesn't.
Somewhere Jeff Walsh is very offended right now.
I would be too.
It didn't say it made sounds like a parrot.
Your mama's so stupid. When thieves broke into her house, they stole the TV. She chased after them, saying, "We hear though you wait for you forgot the remote."
That was a Canadian Yo Mama joke, by the way.
Oh, Lord.
Okay, these are stupid Your Mama jokes.
Oh, God.
Anyway, so today, folks, besides telling really bad jokes, terrible jokes, even though I do like that the first one was funny. The first one was funny. We do have our...
Your first one? My first one?
My first one.
Oh, yeah.
My first one.
No, nobody liked that.
You laughed!
Sympathy.
I laugh at you.
No, that was not a sympathy laugh. I know what a sympathy laugh is. Trust me, I'm married. I pull my pants down. I get a sympathy laugh all the time.
That's not sympathy laugh. That's just laugh.
It's what's even worse than when they laugh, when they look and they go, "Oh,
that's so cute."
That's worse. That's so much worse. So much worse.
No,
never got that. Never got that. But that's gotta suck, Tim, doesn't it?
I don't know. I've never had that.
Damn it! I tried.
Even worse is when they go, "Wake up, little guy! Come on, wake up!"
They're flicking it. They just it's like flopping back each time.
And you're just going, flicking it's not really doing a whole lot for me right now.
But they just keep doing it. Come on, wake up, little guy.
Put an alarm clock next to it.
Oh my God.
Oh fuck!
Oh,
All right, what are we doing this week?
Your mama's so fat when she got on a scale, it said, "I need your weight, not your phone number."
Your mom is so ugly. She threw a boomerang and it refused to come back.
Your mama's so ugly when she tried to join an ugly contest. They said, "Sorry, no professionals."
Your mama's so old. She walked out of a museum and the alarm went off.
Oh my god, your mama's so fat she went to Applebee's. She got a group discount too.
Nice.
Your mama's so fat that even Dora can't explore.
Yo, since we're doing Yo Mama jokes, yo, there is this channel on YouTube just called Yo Mama. If you got nothing to do, sit and watch some of those videos.
Oh, yeah.
You will literally die laughing.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Die laughing. Oh,
Your
my
mama's
God.
so stupid she put 2 quarters in her ears and thought she was listening to 50 Cent.
Yo mama's so ugly. She looked out the window and was arrested for mooning.
Yes.
Your mama's so ugly she made One Direction go another direction.
Of course.
Your mama's so fat her belly button gets home 15 minutes before she does.
Yo mama's so poor. She chases the garbage truck with a grocery list.
Oh God, this shit's taking me back to like 7th grade. This is beautiful.
Your mama's so hairy when she went to the movie theater to see Star Wars, everybody screamed and said, "It's Chewbacca!" Oh my God.
Yo, this is a Tim one. Your Tim's so short you could see his feet on his driver's license. It's not even a Yo Mama joke. It's a Tim joke.
It's a Yo Tim joke.
It's a Yo Tim joke. Your Tim is so short you can see his feet on his driver's license picture.
You're gonna have to remember that one when we do the roast in a couple weeks. Definitely, that one has to come back out. Definitely.
Yo, Calvin is so stupid he brought a spoon to the Super Bowl.
I already used that one.
You did?
Yeah, no. You used the Super Bowl one.
Your mother's so stupid she brought milk and cereal to the Super Bowl.
Oh, okay.
You user againer.
Your Tim's so short he went to see Santa and he told him to get back to work.
You're Calvin.
That's the one.
That's a good one.
I'm just gonna count one. I'm just here to count 1, 2, 3 right now. That's all. That's why
your Calvin is so ugly. When he took a bath, the water jumped out.
Nice, probably.
All right, that one's that gets a 1 count.
That's a 1 count.
Yeah.
That's a 1 count. That one's a 1 count. Calvin, your turn. Rebut. Your turn, Cal.
Okay, hold on. I gotta find one.
I got one. Can I go?
All right, go ahead.
All right.
No, Calvin's ready. Calvin's ready. Go. Cal, go. We're gonna keep this going back and forth.
Yeah, we're never gonna get this show on the road.
Fuck the show. This is hilarious. Let's go.
Your Tim's so dumb he went to the eye doctor to get an iPhone.
1, 2.
Really?
Oh, he kicked out 2 7/8. 2 7/8. That was good.
No. Your Calvin's so ugly. When he went to a haunted house, he came out with a job application.
1, 2
Nice.
and a half. He kicked out at 2 1/2.
Oh goodness.
Somebody's got to come up with the finisher. Somebody's got to come up with the finisher.
Your Tim's so ugly he made a blind kid cry.
Yeah, that's actually kind of funny.
Double disqualification. Double disqualification.
Your Calvin is so ugly, he scared the shit out of the toilet.
Double DQ.
Your Tim. Hey, we can do it because it's his birthday. Your Tim's so old his social security number is 1.
Oh my God.
Oh,
your Calvin is so ugly, even Hello Kitty said goodbye to him.
Nice. Your Tim's so stupid he took a ruler to bed to see how long he slept. Oh man.
Tim, your best one because that one was good.
No,
was
it was.
good.
I'm trying to find a good one.
I need the finisher.
Oh,
You
man.
need the finisher right now.
Woo.
That's not a finisher though. I'll say it, but this isn't a finisher.
Yeah, okay, I got the finisher.
Yo Calvin is so ugly, he turned Medusa into stone.
No.
No, that's not good at all. Your Tim's so stupid, he stared at a cup of orange juice for 12 hours because it said concentrate.
And down to the canvas he goes. 1.
Your Calvin is so stupid, he got hit by a parked car.
1. 2. Almost. Come on. Get him. Get him.
Yo Calvin's so ugly, the government moved Halloween to his birthday.
Yeah, you're on the same list I am because I'm reading those. I'm like, that's not good. That's not good.
Your Calvin is so poor that when I asked what's for dinner tonight, he lit his pocket on fire and said, "Hot Pocket."
That's good.
Okay. That's good.
Your Tim's so fat, his car has stretch marks.
Done. 1, 2, 3.
Your Calvin's so ugly, his birth certificate and his apology letter from the condom factory.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
folks. So anyway, we are going to jump from this.
Fuck.
What a
we are going to
segue.
jump into our top 10 list of favorite Major League Baseball players of, or not just Major League, our favorite baseball players of all time.
Do we have to? Because this was good.
Mr. Athern is not with us tonight, but he was nice enough to send me his list. So we will start with his list.
Okay.
And we'll go from there.
Okay, let's do that.
Number 10 is totally wrong, and we need to berate him extensively for having this guy so low on his list. His number 10 is David Ortiz.
I'm just going to assume his list was in no particular order.
No, his list is in order because I know who his number 1 and 2 people would be, and they are 1 and 2. So,
okay,
solid start, Brian.
Ortiz in the top 10. Okay, there we go.
Who's next?
My number 10 is one that you guys probably won't have because it's a Yankee, Mariano Rivera.
He's
guy.
He's actually in my honorable mention. He really is.
2 pitches, and he's probably the best closer of all time.
Yep.
I would say the best closer of all time. It'd be hard to argue anybody else with it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Agreed. My number 10 is another pitcher as well. Acted as a closer later in his career, but was a starter for the majority of it. I have Dennis Eckersley at number 10. I always loved the way he pitched. It was so different, so unique. And I don't care what anybody says. I love his commentary on Red Sox games. I love how he speaks like an everyman in the commentary.
I will say this. Godspeed, good luck, and everything else to Jerry Remy. He has stepped away from the Red Sox broadcast. His lung cancer has come back. So he has stepped away to do what he can to fight cancer again. So I will say loud and proud, fuck cancer.
Agreed.
Yeah,
no,
very much so.
F it right in the A.
Yeah. My number 10, I'm going old school, was my first player that I ever truly loved as a player, and I've loved him ever since. Jim Ed Rice.
Jim Rice, yes.
Mr. Jim Rice, number 10. One of the most feared hitters in the 80s, especially the early to mid 80s. And I do think if he didn't break his hand in 75, they win the World Series in 75. I think.
Very hard to argue that. Nobody was hitting the ball better.
Yeah.
Who
that's
does?
Cool.
Big Brian.
Oh, that's cool. There was a fish jumping while they were swimming at the Olympics.
A what?
A fish? A fish just jumped while they were swimming. They were doing like the 10K or whatever, and they showed a picture of a fish jumping out of the water while they're swimming.
Were they swimming in like a river or
Oh,
something?
Yeah.
Oh.
yeah. They're doing the
Yeah, the 10K swim or whatever. They swim around
Whatever.
the lake or whatever.
yeah.
And there was a fish just jumped out of the water. That's
That's
pretty
awesome.
neat.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Little fish is like, I'm gonna photobomb these guys Olympics.
Exactly, right?
So Brian's number 9, and amazingly, Brian's number 9 is the same guy that I have on my list. At number 9 as well.
You guys are two of the same people. I don't know why you just don't do your list together and just.
We went with Mr. Chicago Cub himself, Mr. Ryan Sandberg. He was my number 9. I'll jump ahead of you guys real quick, and because he was my number 9 as well.
Oh, if they're the same, absolutely, yeah.
He was so growing up in Western Maine, we had Red Sox on WSBK TV channel 38, and I had Chicago Cubs baseball during the day on WGN, which for some ungodly reason we got in Maine.
Weird, but whatever.
So I saw a lot of Cubs baseball in the 80s. So Brian Sandberg, great second baseman.
Solid pick, very solid.
Yeah.
My number 9 I couldn't decide on, so I went and put them both there, and I went with Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa, just because I loved the home run back and forth. Like every day, you're watching those. Like when they play each other, you're watching both their games just to see who hit a home run, who didn't, what happened.
Yep.
Like it was just so much fun watching that. When they were
People who
going
weren't
back and
there
forth.
don't understand how big of a deal nationally that was. That took over news. That took over other baseball games. Like it didn't matter.
There is a
huge deal.
There is a reason why Major League Baseball did nothing about the steroids during the steroid era.
Yeah.
They were coming off the strike.
Yeah.
Feelings were really butthurt amongst Americans with baseball because you had most of them were millionaires arguing with billionaires.
Yeah.
So it really turned off a lot of people. So that whole home run chase that they had was phenomenal.
It was. It was great to watch.
Yep.
It took over every episode of Sports Center. It didn't matter what city you lived in. That started out the sports cast on the news, everything. So we'll keep it going here. My number 9, I grew up playing baseball, and I was a catcher for a very long time, so I loved watching catchers. One of my favorite catchers to watch of all time was Tony Pena from the Red Sox. The way he would sit out, he would throw guys out from his knees at second base. I remember being a kid watching him almost try to intentionally walk a guy and then ducking back in and catching strike 3 and catching everybody off guard. He wasn't really a great hitter, but as a defense, like your catcher is the only guy that sees the entire field, and he always had good command over the field. I learned a lot from watching him.
Yeah,
Every time
Pena
I think back, I think of Tony.
Pena was cool. Pena was cool.
I got a lot of Red Sox on my list, if you couldn't tell.
No way.
Brian's number 8, Cal Ripken Jr. of the Baltimore Orioles.
What a disappointment.
Brian, what do you have to say about that?
Yeah.
Hold on.
I'm a big dummy.
I mean, I liked Ripken. He is in my honorable mention. I mean,
yeah.
Ripken's on my list.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
He's way up there on my list.
Is he? Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't see enough of him to really. I just knew he was really good.
Yeah.
And I knew that he was the guy on the Orioles, besides him and Eddie Murray, that you didn't want them to beat you.
No.
So,
my number 8 is probably one of the greatest shortstops of all time, and one that you Boston people hate, Derek Jeter.
I don't hate him.
You're not wrong. He belongs on the list. Absolutely belongs.
I don't hate him.
Yeah,
he's one of the few Yankees that you could ask even the hottest masshole about, who like loves the Red Sox, hates everybody else. They'll never say anything bad about Jeter except he wore the Yankees jersey.
Yeah, his very last game hitting the walk-off. Like, come on, how do you just? It's just incredible.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my number 8.
So it was 8. So my number 8 is, you just mentioned him a minute ago. We don't have to say too much more. This is where I had Mark McGwire. Not Sosa, but just McGwire itself. For the duration of his career, the leader he became later, and the fact that he broke a home run record that had stood forever. So yeah, that was a big going back to all that we had already just spoke about.
My number 8 is one of the greatest pitchers that I've ever seen, who could basically throw a 90-mile-per-hour fastball and paint the corner and move the pitch like you've never seen.
He's further up my list.
I have Greg Maddux at number 8.
He's further up my list.
Mine as well.
I loved him on the Braves, and I loved him on the Cubs. He just...
So I'll say it now because it's actually funny that we're doing this because it's in my memories that I shared this. So Greg Maddux faced 20,421 batters in his career, and only 310 of them saw a 3-0 count.
Mm-hmm.
So 310 of them. Only 177 of those were intentionally walked.
That's amazing.
That's filthy. The level of control
disgusting.
that man had was amazingly filthy.
Yeah.
That's just, it's just disgusting. Like, man, that's unreal.
Yep.
Not a chance you'd see that in today.
No, he was a different era.
Yeah.
I mean, the paint the corner era, and now it's all blow a guy away and throw 130 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Greg Maddux would strike you out in a 75-mile-an-hour changeup.
Yep.
Every time.
Brian's number 7 is amazingly Greg Maddux. So we'll move on.
Yeah. My number 7 is probably the best third baseman of the kind of 2000 era, and that would be Chipper Jones.
I like Chipper.
Going through the Braves, like, man, how can you really say he wasn't basically the leader of that team? They were the best team in the NL East for 12 years, won the division like 10 years in a row, and basically went to almost to the World Series every year. Like,
Calvin, it's ridiculous how similar our lists are right here. This is absolutely ridiculous. Yes. So my number 7, this is where I had Jeter. I put Jeter right here at number 7 for literally being one of the best career all-around baseball players Major League Baseball has ever seen. And that's the last nice thing I'm saying about the Yankees.
That play he made when he cut off the what was it, the right field throw, and then he basically he backhanded it to get the guy at the plate. Oh my God, like.
Look, that's not even where a shortstop usually is, and a shortstop was there to make that play.
Yeah,
here's the thing: is you got to remember, Jeter wasn't even the best shortstop when he really came up. Nomar Garciaparra was the best shortstop, and then A-Rod, and then Jeter, and the three of them were supposed to be this triumphant. Whatever.
I remember they were like the big 3 of like major league infielders, like everywhere.
And Nomar's he's not on my list. I loved him. I'm getting all verklempt. I can't stand the way he went out with the Sox. He basically quit on the Sox, which drops a ton in my eyes because he was arguably the best shortstop I'd ever seen up until that point. But the Red Sox made the trade.
Yep.
And they went on and won the World Series. And I don't think they win the World Series if they don't make that trade.
No, not at all.
So, was that the oh no, that was not the Edgar Renteria trade. That was the played for the Expos, Orlando Cabrera.
Yes.
I think that was the Cabrera trade. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a while ago now. Jeez.
Yeah.
So number 6.
No, number 7.
No,
Tim's number 7.
I got to do my number 7.
Number 7. I'm sorry.
Yeah, my number 7 is Ken Griffey Jr.
Nice.
Nice. His
he's
swing
further up my swing. Yeah.
And he's further up Brian's too.
Yeah.
But his swing.
Oh my God! It didn't even look like he. It doesn't even look like he's doing anything.
Sweetest left-handed swing that you're ever going to see. I loved his game. I think if he had played in a large market for the majority of his career, he would be even higher than what he's at. The fact is, he played in Seattle for most of his career, held him back. I think in my eyes of most East Coast players, I should say.
Yeah.
Number 6. I'm not sure who this player is, but I think I know his cousin. So number 6 is Roger Sellemans. I know who it is.
Brian Fred had a spell?
Yeah. Roger Clemens is Brian's number 6.
My number 6, we've talked about Greg Maddux. Don't need to talk anymore. Great pitcher. Just fun to watch.
My number 6 is also Roger Clemens. For every little bit of what everybody remembers about Roger Clemens, from the 20 strikeout games, to throwing a broken bat back at Mike Piazza, to playing in MTV's like Celebrity All-Star Game and throwing a softball at 90 miles an hour at Bill Bellamy.
Yeah.
All those things that made Roger Clemens the on-air personality that you wanted to watch. And oh yeah, by the way, he threw a baseball friggin' awesome.
Yeah.
More so than most.
So my number 6 is my first current player. I have actually the only current player on my top 10 list.
Yeah, I only have one current player too.
I had one, but he retired. So
I don't even have one.
My number
I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, my number 6 is Mookie Betts.
Yeah.
There is nothing about his game that I just don't like.
Except that he plays for the Dodgers.
I still cheer for him. I still want him to do well.
A lot of people around here still cheer for him and hope he does good.
I was absolutely, I'm not going to say crushed, because that's a big word to, whatever. And at 49, 50 years old, it's kind of hard to get crushed when your team trades away your favorite player.
No, but that was a big deal. He was one of the heart and soul of the team. And
it was, there are things, I love the fact that he bowls.
Fact.
And he's a damn good
pitcher. He is a good bowler, yeah.
Professionally bowls, yeah.
I loved his game. I loved his enthusiasm for the game. One of my favorite memories of Mookie Betts in a Red Sox uniform isn't winning the World Series. It's actually the 14 pitch at bat he had when he hit the grand slam on the 14th pitch.
Oh.
And it's the one where Eck is like, I think he's ready to party here. And the very next pitch he hits it out. I'm pretty sure it was a grand slam. It may have been it was a home run. I think it was a grand slam, but his enthusiasm for that and his defensive capabilities in any portion of the outfield. And the fact is the dude played second base coming up.
Yeah.
So I know he's struggling right now. I think he's only batting like 250 or 260 out there.
He's been injured a little bit, hasn't he, though?
He has been injured a little bit. But I named my cat after the dude. So yeah, number 6 is.
So Brian's number 5?
Brian's number 5.
Top 5 time.
Top 5. I completely forgot about this dude, and I do not have him on my list anymore. Number 5 is the big unit.
Randy Johnson.
Yeah. I wasn't a real big fan of him. Yeah, the bird killer.
The bird killer, yeah.
I wasn't a huge, I shouldn't say I wasn't a huge fan of him. He was not the type of player that I was going to go out of my way to watch if he was on TV.
Right.
But I could appreciate his dominance and how freaking good he is. And I think it was the All-Star game when, was it John Kruk came up to bat?
Yes, it was Kruk. He threw a ball up over his head.
Oh my God, and Kruk almost shit his pants. And then
He spun his helmet around the other way and batted right-handed, so that because Kruk was a big lefty, Unit throws a ball over his head. He switches the ear and he bats right. He strikes out swinging on a terrible pitch. Oh, good God!
Hilarious.
My best memory of Randy Johnson was one particular at bat against Maguire during the Maguire year with him and Sosa, and Unit was just throwing nothing but 100-mile-an-hour gas at him, daring him to hit the ball. And he got him down to like a 2-2 count. And then Maguire hit one that literally still has not landed yet off of Unit. And he was and they were looking and they were laughing at each other the entire time that Maguire's running around the bases. Yeah. Fantastic. Go back and find that. They're just laughing at each other. Yeah. So yeah, Cal, number 5.
My number 5 is Roy Halladay. Loved him pitching for the Jays, and then loved when he went to the Phillies, made his first World Series playoff start, and throws a no-hitter, and then goes on and wins the World Series. Like, that was just that was my number 5.
Great story.
Yeah,
that is a great story. My number 5. This is where I have Chipper Jones. I loved watching it. What a great baseball name, too. Like, just in general, like, your name's Chipper Jones. You belong on an MLB field.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? From being able to switch hit and how good he was at third base and then later played first base. I mean, he was just a great all-around player. Fantastic all-around player.
So I fucked up my list, per usual. And I just realized. So I had Jim Rice at number 10.
Did you also have him at like number 5?
No, I had him. I have him higher because I forgot. Like I moved things around as I was in my head. I was putting like I just listed names out and then I was putting numbers around. So
Yo, Tim is so stupid he can't even make a top 10 list.
Full circle. 1, 2, 3.
My number 10, and then I'll get back to what are we in number 5?
5.
5. So my number 10, I'm sorry, was actually Dwight Evans. I was a huge Dewey fan. I just loved everything about his game, the cannon of an arm. That's
what I think of when I think of Dewey. Just the cannon that man had.
Of an arm.
Ridiculous.
And I will always remember he batted leadoff the very first game in 1986 against Detroit Tigers at Detroit. Very first pitch of the season, he hits out for a home run. That's how they started off, and then they end up going to the, obviously to the World Series and whatnot. But so I'm sorry, I had Dwight Evans at number 10. My number 5, we've already talked about. I have Roger Clemens at number 5. He is not the highest ranked pitcher I have on here, but man, he was must see TV for me for many years.
Mm-hmm.
Wouldn't miss a game when it was on Nesson or back in 84, 85, 86 when he was really pitching WSBK TV. Never missed one of his games. So
the Rocket.
Let's see. Number 4.
Numero 4.
I love Brian's number 4.
Oh, jeez.
Hand Ram. Manny Ramirez.
Manny being Manny.
Oh God, I didn't know how to take greatest hitter I've one of the greatest right-handed hitters I've ever seen.
Right.
But dumb.
Oh, he dumb as a post.
I mean,
he fucking dumb.
I mean, just I swear to God, he never got over the age of 12.
No, God, no.
I mean, the whole point of him intercepting a throw from Johnny Damon while he was still in the outfield.
Yeah.
And they laugh it off and go, that's just Manny being Manny. Really? No.
Yeah.
That's fucking stupid. Like,
that's Manny being stupid. Yeah.
That was dumb. That was dumb. He's done some other like stupid shit.
Oh yeah.
But look at the amount of good that he did for this team. How many times him and David together, Ortiz during those years were a combination you never wanted to face.
Yep.
You walk one, you get the other one. You walk both, and you're still screwed.
Yep.
Yeah. My number 4. and arguably just because I'm a fan, but probably one of the best all-around catchers and still going is Buster Posey. That's
like
my
Posey.
number 4.
Yeah.
He's a career 300 hitter for a catcher. Like,
Yep.
that's unreal, and he's probably one of the best defensive catchers I've ever seen. He can stop anything. Like, I just love him. He's so much fun to watch, and he can hit for power. Like, oh, it's unreal. And he's carrying the team this year. They're first place in the league. Like, oh, it's unreal.
Yeah, having an amazing year.
Yeah.
And he's an amazing player. I Buster Posey's pretty damn impressive.
He is. He is. So my number 4, this is where I had Ken Griffey Jr. for every reason that everybody remembers Griffey. I have a little bit of a personal story about Ken Griffey Jr. Had gone to Fenway to watch a game. It was a Saturday afternoon game. Sox are playing the Mariners. Junior's playing center field. We had front row bleacher seats in the front row of center field. And it's me and like 4 or 5 of my buds, and we had all been drinking beers since before we even got on the train to go down there. We were not 21, but that matters not. So anyway, we're in the front row of the bleacher seats, and I yelled down. Griffey had made a play and threw it to second, but the guy went to third, and he screwed it up. So I yelled down, "Hey, Griffey, you suck!" And you think that like they wouldn't even acknowledge because they're professional. He just turned around and very casually flipped me off as easily as he could.
Yeah.
It was gorgeous. It was gorgeous. I got flipped off by Ken Griffey. Some people get a ball autograph. Nah, I got a middle finger. That was beautiful. But no, Griffey, for every reason we all know about Ken. And I'm just, Evan, just one quick little thing. Just as I'm a dad now, it's very cool that he was one of the few players that got to actually play with his dad.
Yeah.
And that little moment that he got to have with his dad, that very short time in the beginning of his career. We were watching the Guerreros do it. You know, like it's really, really, it's a special kind of thing.
Yeah. My number 4, I've already talked about because I fucked up my list, is Jim Rice.
Yep.
So that was where I had, when I was moving things around, I just never deleted him out of the other one. And
well, you really like Jim Rice. I don't blame you.
I do. I still do. I love him. I love him as an announcer. He does the pregame and the postgame show on Nesson half the time, I guess. I love listening to him.
And fast fact, he has 2 Candlepin bowling lanes in his basement at his house.
I even like him even more now.
I don't know if I talked to the guys that like do the installing of lanes, and they had said one time they went over there and they installed 2 working machines in the basement of his house. So if we could find out where he goes, turn him in at Jimmy's house.
Turn him in at Jimmy's house. Nice.
Turn him in at Jim's house.
Yep. Number 3. This was surprising to me a little for Brian. He's going a little old school Colorado Rocky. Andres Galarraga.
Okay, I didn't think that's where he was going, but okay.
I thought he Bichette. I thought he was going to go with Dante Bichette.
Yeah.
No, he went with Andres Galarraga. The
Okay.
cat. He went with the cat.
My number 3 we've talked about, and Marky, you're right. Our lists are very similar.
Yes.
I have Griffey. Griffey is my number 3. So don't need to talk about him. Awesome.
Nope. And my number 3, this is where I have, in my opinion, the greatest pitcher that I've ever seen in my entire life.
You and I have the same exact number 3.
Greg Maddux.
I guarantee. Damn it, no. Okay.
Greatest pitcher I've ever seen in my life. Personally,
absolutely.
Greatest pitcher ever. Not overpowering. Didn't have to be.
When you
pitcher I've ever watched.
When you said early on that you had mostly Red Sox players, I thought you were going with arguably the greatest Red Sox pitcher of the last 50 years.
Pedro? No, nobody likes him.
I have Pedro at number 3 for me. There's nothing that can be said about the fact that the guy was 5'0", weighed 110 pounds soaking wet, and threw a 98-mile-per-hour fastball to chin, followed up with a 82-mile-per-hour changeup down in a way that you were sent walking back to the dugout because you just struck out.
Exactly. Every time. The only man I've ever seen strike out the order in an all-star game.
99.
In 99, we were in Boston. I tried to get tickets, couldn't get it. They did a big thing on Faneuil Hall in Boston. Like, it was like this all-access thing, I guess you got. They had screens set up and everything else, and they showed it to everybody for free, and we were there and struck out 9 batters in a row in the All-Star game. Beat that, I dare you.
I don't know. The numbers that he put up in the live ball era is staggering when you look at it. You know, like the league ERA at the time was something like 4.2, and he was at a 1.7.
Yeah.
Like, shit didn't happen like that. His antics. I mean, who doesn't remember him getting duct taped to the pole in the dugout? You know?
Who's your daddy?
Yep. You know, coming out to Yankee Stadium and going, well, I guess the Yankees are my daddy. I mean, that whole, I don't know. Pedro, they don't make him like that. They just,
no.
You know, him coming out of the pen. Well, or one of my favorite things is him giving up like the first hit of the game and then strikes out 17 batters and throws a one-hitter.
Mm-hmm.
Or against Tampa when he hits the guy, doesn't do it on purpose, and charges the mound. The other guy gets thrown out. He stays in the game and throws a one-hitter and strikes out 15. Like, go fuck yourself, Tampa. Like,
he was just a different animal than everybody else who stepped on the rubber. He was a different monster.
Yeah. So he's my number 3. Let's see. Brian's number 2. This will come as no surprise. He has mentioned this before. His number 2 is Mike Trout.
Interesting.
And there's a guy right there that absolutely 100% gets screwed by playing in Anaheim. He would be.
What do you mean? He barely plays every season.
Well, now
he's injured all the time.
He would be arguably the face of baseball if he played in Boston, New York, Chicago, you know, someone along the East Coast. But because he plays in Anaheim, 3/4 of the people that watch baseball don't watch him play because he comes on at 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, East Coast.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
It's an unfortunate fact, but it's a fact.
Yeah. My number 2 is arguably the greatest guy to pick up a bat or never have to pick up a bat, and that is Barry Bonds.
Yeah. I know people.
Repeat that stat one more time, Cal. You were talking about that stat before we went live.
The OPS, yeah, the fact that I can't remember the year. If I could get the year, that might be it. But anyways, one of the years that Barry Bonds, he was the best OPS in history. And if he didn't pick up a bat that entire season and just stood there and let pitchers pitch to him, he would still have the second best OPS of all time. Like,
that's ridiculous.
He didn't have to pick up a bat, and he still would have got on base more than anybody in the league. It's just unreal.
That's
like like people who are listening to this, if you want to go watch that, it's like a 14-minute video, and it is incredible. This guy takes his computer, and he takes out all these. I've talked about this. I think I don't know if I talked about this off the record or not, or off when we weren't recording, but. Anyways, he takes this algorithm and he shows every time that where a pitch would have ended up and took away foul balls, took away home runs, and just stood Barry Bonds in the batter box. And it's like a 14-minute video, and he shows that he would have been the second deadliest hitter of all time without even having a bat in his hand. Like it's just sick. It's unreal. The most
filthy.
The most feared hitter in the world, like ever. It's unreal.
That's just disgusting. I mean, it's amazing. Amazingly disgusting.
Honestly, if he took steroids or not, you still have to hit the ball. You still have to see the ball. Like, yes, it gives you a little extra power, like, but you still have to see it. You still got to hit
the damn thing. Yeah. You still have to make contact and put the ball 400 feet that way. You still have to.
Like, it's unreal. So, yeah, number 2, Barry Bonds.
So, my number 2 is, in my opinion, the greatest Boston Red Sox pitcher of all time, not the best pitcher of all time, but the best Boston Red Sox pitcher of all time, and that is Pedro Martinez. If you just let me get there, Tim, I was gonna get there.
I know. I jumped the gun. I was shocker. I was a little premature. It's all good.
They were both very similar pitchers, Greg Maddux and Pedro Martinez. Pedro had the edge when he could gas up and throw that 95, 96 mile, but they were both corner painters. Yeah. Like it's a lost art in this game that you can paint corners all day long instead of just trying to go out there, Joe Big Peepee, and try to just throw it 130 miles an hour across the plate and blow a guy away. Yeah. This was an era, like you said, during the live ball era, when baseballs were flying out of stadiums faster than they could make them. These two guys, Maddux and Martinez, were sitting guys down faster than they could walk to the plate to have an at-bat. Yeah. So the two of these two guys together, were so many Cy Youngs, so many times that these two guys have led a pitching staff, ERAs, so far down that you have to dig a hole to find them. Yeah. I loved watching Pedro. Yeah. Loved watching Pedro.
My number 2 is arguably the greatest clutch hitter in the history of clutch hitters. The greatest DH in the history of the DHs, David Ortiz.
He's your number 2?
He is my number 2. Yeah, I am a huge Ortiz fan. I loved the dude. I loved everything he did for the game. I loved what he did for the Red Sox. I mean, that whole, this is our fucking city speech, brought the city together after the marathon bombings. The fact that he is still revered after being out of the game for 5-6 years, 4 or 5 years now, and he should be a first ballot Hall of Famer. He won't be because of the steroid implications. That's going to hold him back some, I think, unfortunately. Even though he truly never tested positive, they say he tested positive. He was in the Mitchell report, but that was supposed to be confidential. So I don't care. I don't care if he did. Steroids to me, I don't care.
No, me neither.
I don't.
I'm the same way.
If Major League Baseball did not ban them, and even if they banned them but they didn't test for them, that's on Major League Baseball. That's a time-honored tradition in Major League Baseball, is to always try to get an edge some way, somehow. Hell, in the 60s, they were doing fucking drugs in the dugout.
Yeah.
You had uppers. You had pills. They were popping greenies. Holy shit. They were popping amphetamines. Those are equally a performance-enhancing drug, just like steroids.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay for the Mickey Mantles of the world, who, by the way, amazing player, to do shit like that. The Willie Mays of the world, amazing player. Mm-hmm. They don't get held back for using. Well, that's not bullshit. Take an amphetamine, a pill like that, and tell me that isn't performance enhancing.
Yeah,
you're fucking wired for sound.
Give a guy a line of coke and watch how fast he can get to second base on one base hit. Where the rest of us are barely rounding first, and this guy's already halfway around second. No, you got a little bit of an edge there, guy.
Yeah. So, anyway, David Ortiz, number 2. Brian.
Who is Brian's number 1? If he started with David Ortiz at number 10 rather, who the hell is his number 1?
His number 1, everybody should know who his number 1 is he said it 30 times, 18 whatever times. Ken Griffey Jr. is his number 1 all-time favorite baseball player.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Really?
No, I don't remember him saying that.
Oh my God, he has said that multiple times on this show.
He is a huge Griffey fan. He has a Griffey jersey from the Reds.
Yeah.
Always in his field of view on his cam and stuff. It's not a bad pick. That's a good pick. That's a very good pick. Cal, who is your favorite baseball player of all time?
My number 1 is I assume would be obvious. Only because I'm named after him and because I loved watching him play. Cal Ripken Jr. is my favorite baseball player of all time. Just loved it. I don't know. It was probably just because I was named after him that I started watching him, doing the whole Iron Man thing, just watching him play like awesome defensively. I think he only had like 50 or 60 errors in his whole career. Like
elite defensively.
I mean, he was no Ozzie Smith, but he was pretty good.
Yeah, sure.
I mean, the man went from third base to shortstop or shortstop to third base, one or the other. It's a totally separate position with a totally different mindset. Yeah. And he went out and just played both positions as elitely as humanly possible. He didn't hit for a lot of power, but he was just captain base hit, captain sack fly. Oh, you want me to bunt? Sure. We're going to win the game if I do. Beautiful. Selfless. And everything he's done after baseball. I mean, the man's become so involved in youth organizations. They even renamed, when I was a kid, not high school ball, but like city ball. When you were like 13, 14, 15, we used to call it Babe Ruth. Now, I guess in Little League of America, they call it the Ripken League now.
Well, you have Cal Ripken League, which competes with Little League.
Oh, it's its own separate organization.
It's its own separate thing. So they compete against Little League. Like locally in Maine, like Bath, which is a city about, I don't know, an hour from me, they have Cal Ripken. They don't have Little League.
Okay.
So Babe Ruth is still Babe Ruth. You still have Babe Ruth ball.
Is that still a thing? Okay.
Yep. That's still a thing.
But, I mean, think about it. Like, you have an organization named after you for doing all these things for the young ones and just making sure that every kid has access to a baseball game if they want to play. All these players that we've listed, a lot of them, they were really, really good. But what have they done after? What did they do for the fans and things like that later? Cal has just been what you would literally call an ambassador to the game.
Yeah.
110.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, fuck yeah. So, personally, my favorite baseball player of all time, this one to me was very easy. It is David Ortiz. It is absolutely David Ortiz. Yeah. I know, and a lot of people would argue that, well, he never played the field. He didn't have to because he was literally the best DH, designated hitter that's ever happened. Yeah, he would play first base when they'd go to the National League and stuff to make sure he stayed in the order. But literally the most clutch man with a baseball bat in his hand in the last 50 to 100 years of baseball. It's absolutely ridiculous how many times that man won a game with the last swing of the bat of a game. And everything that he did for the city, uniting the city after the marathon bombings. If you weren't in Boston, it was such a different feel to this city after that happened, man.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous how much things changed. And, I'm not going to get all sappy. I was pretty close by that situation when that happened that day. I was pretty close to that. I'm not going to lie. But, no, that meant a lot when he ever came out and changed the city back to what we were, and then everything that he's done. Just we all know who David Ortiz is and what he's done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And him and Manny were like the fucking goof brothers of all of Boston in those years, man. They were hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My number one is arguably the greatest second baseman in the history of the Boston Red Sox organization, Marty Barrett.
Marty Barrett. I knew you were going to say Marty Barrett.
Just kidding. My number one is Dustin Pedroia.
You're a fucking tool.
There's nothing that anyone can tell me differently. I loved his game. I loved the way he played. I loved the dirt dog mentality. I loved the fact that he played hard from the first inning to the ninth inning or more. I thought he played the game the right way. I mean, that's how I was always taught to play. I love the fact that dude swung from his ass on everything. The laser show. I mean, you called him the laser show for a reason. He loved that wall. Yeah. Wall ball double, Dustin Pedroia. And, Manny Machado can go fuck himself for killing his career. Yeah. It was a dirty slide. I don't care what you tell me. You can't say anything differently. That was an absolute 100% dirty slide into second base that ruined his career.
Not wrong. Not wrong.
And I think at some point, it won't be anytime soon because I know that I know he's got, young kids and he's doing a lot with kids. But I'd love to see him in the Red Sox organization as a coach. I think he would make a really good coach.
I think you're absolutely right. A lot of the players that come back and coach teams later, they had that mentality, that pig pen mentality. Take a piece of the puck home with you every night.
Yeah.
You know, go out there and play as hard. Even if you go 0 for 4, man, make sure you're swinging hard at every pitch that you're swinging at. And he always did. Some nights he'd go 0 for 4. The next night he'd go 5 for 5 with 3 wall ball doubles, like you were saying earlier.
Yep.
Loved by the fans, loved by his teammates. He'd come back and make a really good hitting coach.
So anyway,
nice list, boys.
We have our resident listener, Dave Obey. We have his list. He just sent me his list. Number 10, he has Manny Ramirez. Number 9, Pedro. Number 8, Kurt Schilling. Number 7, Mike Musina. Number 6,
I haven't heard that.
Yeah, the Moose. Number 6, Albert Pujols. Number 5, Dustin Pedroia. Number 4, Chipper Jones. Number 3, George Bell. Number 2,
wow.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
Right. Number 2, David Ortiz. And number 1, probably the best Blue Jay ever, Roberto Alomar.
I actually like Roberto Alomar. Amazing player. You know, I don't have a whole lot of respect for the whole spitting on the umpire thing, but
sometimes those umpires deserve it.
It is what it is. It doesn't take away from his game.
No.
I will tell you one of my favorite, and I've never been a real Blue Jays fan, obviously, being a diehard Red Sox fan. But I was at a game in the early 90s, Red Sox. I was sitting up in left field and had a running conversation going with Mike Greenwell, and at the bottom half of the innings had a running conversation going with Joe Carter.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
And I had a Joe Carter home run ball that went up into the net and came down, and Greenwell threw it up, and I had it. And somewhere in the sands of time over the last 25 to 30 years, it's gone. It's gone missing.
It's probably in a box in your basement somewhere.
No. Honestly, I've looked everywhere. It truly has. I suspect I gave it to someone years and years and years ago, like before I met Angie, type deal, like some kid, whatever. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's gone. But
F's in the chat for the Joe Carter ball.
Yeah.
F's in the chat.
Yeah. So, folks, we're gonna wrap it up.
Good, because I really have to pee. Oh my God. It's the last 10 minutes has been struggling here.
Okay.
Let's wrap her up.
We're gonna wrap it up. What does a horny frog say?
Ribbit.
Rub it.
Rub it.
Anyway, we've got coming up the roast, obviously.
Yes.
Get your information in. Again, the easiest way to do that is to go on Google Dropbox, Google Drive.
Yep.
Share your video with Marky Pins at gmail.com.
With a Z.
With a Z. It's MAHKYPINZ at gmail.com. Get those submissions in. Can't wait to roast everyone back. That's really what I'm looking forward to, is getting my fair shot. As usual, you can see Marky and Brian on Sunday evenings. Twitch.tv/Johnny Deathdrop. You got the Dudes and Belts Chatcast. Check them out. They talk Rocky Mountain Pro Wrestling. And of course, you got us on Tuesday mornings and Friday mornings. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Ripping the Rack Podcast. You can also find us on YouTube, Spotify, Anchor, Breaker, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, as well as iHeartRadio and iTunes at Ripping the Rack Podcast. And the last thing I'll say, get your questions, get your comments, get anything you want us to address either on, Candlepin Bowling on Tuesdays or Anything Goes on Fridays. Ripping the Rack Podcast at gmail.com.
We can absolutely have a session of lock letters on Free for All Friday as well. Normally, lock letters are reserved for the bowling show, but we could absolutely have an episode of lock letters on the Free for All Friday. So please get us questions literally about anything, and we'll divide them if they're bowling related or if they're anything else related. Get us some questions, give us some content, because it's going to be fun.
Absolutely.
Going to be fun.
So, guys, have a great weekend. Thank you for listening. And, excuse me. Hiccup. And, and have a wonderful whatever.
Stay
50
pleasant.
years and his balls hasn't dropped yet.
Oh, Calvin.